Hi, my name is Jared Yong, and this is my SIT253 oral presentation for the content creation portfolio. In today's video, I'll be talking personally about what I've done through this portfolio, what my focus and topic was about, and many other things including asset development and maybe portfolio progression as well. So you can see this is the portfolio page. I designed it with Wix in this regard in mind. The home page just has a bit of a highlight reel of the idea of what type of thing you're about to get into. In this case, we're going to go quickly to the conceptual design. And in this regard, we are talking about molecule changing. So why molecule changing? So the topic of this one was about morphing or transforming. So this in regard, I thought of, hey, what about educational VR purposes? We can then talk about chemistry as an example. We have molecules that allow us to create different ones for this idea. So people would be able to use their VR headset, they'll see the molecules in front of them, grab them, be able to combine them together and create different things. So the users here at least are greeted visually, usually with the model of whatever they created alongside with the textures of the model representation look of it. What does that mean by that? As in, like, say if they made H2O, then they'll put the hydrogen and oxygen models together, like the molecules, and then once it's created, it'll make a sound, cover it up a little bit, and then apply a special texture to make it look like water, or even say put water itself as like a texture there. If you take a look at the mood board, we can see a kind of idea of what I was going for, where you already have a lot of chemistry type boards and things in real life. So like those little chemistry model things where you can piece together them. So I drew a lot of inspiration for that, especially when it came for models and especially the color vibrancy. So each kind of molecule was usually represented by a specific color, and I kind of wanted to follow that as well as we went through. Now, going into portfolio progression, when it decides to load. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope, okay, yeah. So going into portfolio progression, timeline designs here. So it followed the pretty basic structure of a timeline design itself. I was personally pretty happy with how everything went. I did get COVID during week 10 again, and it really sucked, I'm not gonna lie. So that kind of did throw me back a little bit, and well, yeah, this is kind of the idea and structure that I was following throughout the weeks to create this portfolio. As you can see with the visual and audio asset list as well, it started pretty small. I didn't actually have 10 audio listings yet because I had to really think about how I wanted to do it. And when it came to, like, say the final submission week, I only did the basic hydrogen model, which is pretty much the basis of hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen, as they'll all just be a circular circle model, and created at least water, nitrous oxide, and cyanogen. And then the audio asset list, as you can see here, has been updated, and this is how I managed most of my content throughout the entire process. So if we take a look at model progression quickly, we talked about basic molecule models, and here's like kind of what the player will see, a nice circular idea. If it was, say, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, or anything like that, it'll probably have its color coordination, and also will be labeled with like a C, a H, etc. Going through at least water molecules here, as you can tell, I have explained it in full detail here with how that was all done and achieved. And once it's completed, as you can see here, it's supposed to have a water texture. And look, I haven't used Blender before this, so this was kind of a first time rookie thing. It looks pretty bad, I know. You can take a look at the models yourself once you get down to it. But overall, I think I did a pretty decent enough job with the modeling, especially with a couple of these. I did go into more depth and detail for nitrous oxide, like the laughing gas and even the cyanogen, because obviously they had more bonds and models, and I did put more effort and emphasis into it because I realized that I can do a bit more as I learnt through a bunch of tutorials through YouTube. Besides that, that's how the model progression went. It went pretty well. I wish I could do things a bit differently because I'm a noob at this, but aside from that, I think this hopefully gets across the basic idea of the molecule models that we're trying to go for. Now, if we move on into the audio making, I linked the assets that I did borrow and use from the freeware sites, which was mainly from Creative Commons. Otherwise, how I made the audio was mainly I did voice audios myself to do a quick process, an idea, and then I combined them using Audacity at least with that. In terms of reflections, it just pretty much as it can be definitely read and gone through, but at least with the stage of the portfolio, I'm quite happy with how things mostly turned out. It could have been better, it could have been worse, but overall, I think at least it was decent enough that it gives the idea of what I was trying to aim and obtain. And then as timeline, we talked about that before. And with say like differences in the portfolio, I wish I could have done a lot more with explaining and doing things. I guess if I like improved my modeling skills, that definitely would have helped because then at least at that point I can do better models and instead of just doing basic circles and spheres and occasional extrudings here and there, I'd actually be able to realize and create the proper vision for this particular VR game that I was thinking of. And besides that, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my portfolio and the content look at it. And yeah, thanks for listening.